Welcome to This Week in Crowder College, an in-depth look into how Crowder College students, faculty, and staff are working together so students soar to new heights, communities are impacted, and lives are changed. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho, specializing in workers' compensation, personal injury, Social Security disability, and more. Learn more online at neoshoattorney.com. Now here's this week's edition of This Week in Crowder College.
Welcome to a brand new week of This Week in Crowder College right here on 91.7 FM. Adam Winkler here with you. Glad to be with you. We're joined this week by Nash Brodsky. He is the Assistant Director of Upward Bound out there at Crowder College. And Nash, thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, a lot of people have heard about Upward Bound. They've heard the name Upward Bound, but let our listeners know what Upward Bound is all about.
So Upward Bound started as a TRIO grant. It's a federally funded grant through the Department of Education. It actually started way back with LBJ's War on Poverty, and this is one of the programs that came from that. So TRIO started as 3 programs, but now it's up to 8. But with our program, so what we do is we serve 37 high schools in the Southwest Missouri area. We have about 300 students in our program. They range from freshmen through just graduating seniors, which we call our bridge kids. And so we've been around since the early 90s here at Crowder College. And the purpose of our program is, to make sure that we are not only preparing students to go to college, but also graduate from college once they get there.
Now, those who enroll in Upward Bound, tell me about a lot of those are first-generation students who want to get that college degree, correct?
Yeah, so college is a totally different language, and it's changed even since my parents, and I went to college too. So with our program, it is yes, so students are selected on a certain criteria, but almost all of them are first-generation college students, meaning their parents have not received bachelor's degrees. But at the same time, they want to go to college and they want to earn that degree. So what we do is, we do different academic preparation as well as social engagement. So that way we are making sure that they are ready to go to college and graduate.
Well, tell me about the process through this. You said 37 high schools, 300 students. So how do you guys go about selecting and talking to all these students?
Yeah, that is a really rigorous process. So these students, so what happens is we start recruitment each fall. Around September, we go out to all of our schools. So we actually have 3 different regions. So we were kind of broken up by counties to where we have a north region, which is kind of out by it goes all the way out to Sarcoxy, Verona kind of area. We have a Nevada region, which goes all the way up towards Butler, Nevada, Lamar, that kind of area. And then we have our south region, which is down here, like Neosho, Mack County, those kind of schools. And so what happens is we speak with counselors, students, and we go and present to students at their home school. Students then write application essays, and then we do interviews with every student that would meet the criteria and applies to the program. Then, we do teacher recommendations, and they're selected based on those rubric with that criteria.
Well, we're speaking with Nash Brodsky today. He is the Assistant Director of Upward Bound out there at Crowder College. And Nash, I think one of the cool things that is involved in Upward Bound is your summer academy. And tell us all about that.
Yeah, so right now we're kind of right in the middle of our summer academy. It's an unbelievable experience. Often we'll hear kids talk about, I want to go away to college, or, I want to go down to Arkansas, or I want to go to Mizzou, but, they've never really lived away from home, too. So with our summer academy, what we do is it's truly giving them that college experience. So Sunday through Thursday, they live on campus in the dorms, and they are during the day, they are taking different academic courses. So they'll do, we call it core classes and research classes. Their core classes are kind of get-ahead classes to where they might be doing Algebra 2 before they take it, or Chemistry before they take it, or, college algebra or English 3, for example. And then when they're juniors and seniors, and some sophomores too, we'll actually put them in dual credit classes to where they are already receiving college credit for while they are here for free. This is a totally free program that is funded by the Department of Education. The other side of it is we have something called research classes, and those are 3-hour-long courses to where they're kind of more career-driven classes and more hands-on. So, for example, this summer we have classes like CSI, where they are literally going through the whole crime scene investigation with local law enforcement, where they're doing like biology labs, and they're literally going to the jails and the firing ranges to see what that looks like. We have things like a chickens class this summer, so where they have literally raised chickens from egg through the developmental process, and they've actually created their own movable coops, and they're taking care of those down there. We have different ones like theater courses where they've done their own productions there, and we also have like graphic design classes, to where they have been, laser printing their own designs. They've been actually fabricating stuff and learning about the design method and CAD drawing.
Well, the Summer Academy sounds just like a phenomenal thing for these students. And after Summer Academy is over, you guys actually have cultural travel as well. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so, it's so fun because, and I forgot to mention, we also get to focus on, the social aspect of this too, because, every evening they're also doing events like financial literacy, or, tonight's our big etiquette night. So this is kind of our fancy, kind of like a prom where we also honor our seniors. But then at the conclusion of our summer academy, as long as students have received above a C average, they can't get anything below a C, then that makes them eligible to go on our cultural trip. This summer, we're actually going to go to Chicago. So they get to go experience, we're going to go to the Field Museum, Shedd Aquarium. We're going up to the top of the sky deck at Willis Tower. We get to do, we're going to Navy Pier, to the Beam, all that fun stuff in Chicago. And it kind of rotates every year. So the goal, by the time a student would have been through our program, our goal is that they would have gone to a big city, so something like Chicago. Last summer, they went to Denver, so that way they could go to the mountain. A couple of years ago, or 2 years ago, was Florida, so that way they could see the ocean. And then our bridge trip, we try to make sure that they go see some history. So whether it's Washington, D.C. or Philadelphia is the goal for those kids.
Well, a lot of great things taking place out there at Crowder College and the Upward Bound program. And Nash, we appreciate your time on This Week in Crowder College. We had so much fun. We're going to do it again next week, and we'll have one of your students join us. So thank you for being with us this week. We look forward to talking to you once again next week.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to This Week in Crowder College. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho. You can listen to this broadcast again by going online to kneo.org or to crowder.edu. Tune in once again next week for another edition of This Week in Crowder College on KNEO 91.7 FM.
If you live within the broadcast area of KNEO Radio, we have a podcast just for you. The KNEO Community Connection keeps your finger on the pulse of what's coming up in the 4-state area, telling you about upcoming events you don't want to miss, organizations in our communities doing great work, and conversations with the dynamic citizens who are behind it all. There's a lot going on around you that you don't want to miss. This is Luke Taylor. Join me each week as we talk about what's happening with the people who are making it happen. Brought to you by KNEO Radio 91.7 FM and the Sky High Podcast Network. Subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts.